I'm Brittany Lewis with Forbes Breaking News. On Wednesday, Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz spoke about a bill to combat anti-Semitism on the House floor. She further condemned replacement theory, which she says, quote, at its root, blames Jews for masterminding an effort to erode the power of white Americans. Listen in for more about her legislation.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I thank the gentleman for yielding and for both gentlemen's remarks. Mr. Speaker, 17 years ago, the first legislation I passed as a member of Congress declared the month of May as Jewish American Heritage Month, or JAM, and urged the President of the United States to make that declaration on behalf of the United States. Since that resolution passed, every president has issued a proclamation declaring May as Jewish American Heritage Month. The mission of JAM is to educate all Americans about the contributions American Jews have made to our nation for more than 350 years. Jews have blazed American trails from the battlefield and basketball court across the biggest stages to the big screen and from the Supreme Court to civil rights and social justice movements. Our story is woven into America's history through generations of leaders. Yet, as we honor the profound impact American Jews made on our national history and culture, I must sadly acknowledge that the recognition and understanding JAM seeks to foster is critically needed now more than ever. There has been a precipitous rise in anti-Semitism. In the last year alone, the Anti-Defamation League reports that anti-Semitic incidents are up 34% nationwide. The American Jewish Committee reports that 24% of American Jews were personally targeted by anti-Semitism in the past 12 months. 4 in 10 American Jews changed their behavior at least once out of fear of anti-Semitism. An alarming 90% believe anti-Semitism is a problem in the United States. We also know that there has been a particularly disturbing surge in assaults against Americans who are identifiably Jewish by virtue of their wearing religious garb, particular clothing, or based upon the locations in which they live or shop. In May 2021, during the military conflict between Israel and Hamas, there was a substantial surge of anti-Semitic incidents in the U.S., with 387 of them reported, or a 148% increase in reports of anti-Semitic incidents compared to May of 2020. Anti-Semitism also emerged in the horrific Buffalo shooting, where an armed white terrorist targeted African Americans for mass murder. He was driven in part by a xenophobic plan called replacement theory, which is at its root blames Jews for masterminding an effort to erode the power of white Americans. This madness will only fuel more violence, and it cannot be allowed to stand. To combat this anti-Semitic scourge in our communities, leaders throughout our country must firmly and clearly and forcefully denounce the alarming rise in rampant hate, violence, and harassment targeting Jewish Americans. That's why I'm proud today to bring HRES 1125 to the floor, which is an unequivocal bipartisan condemnation of anti-Semitism, because enough is enough. This resolution denounces the alarming rise in anti-Semitism in the United States and globally, and it issues a call for real, concrete action to combat it. Those action items include promoting Holocaust education, Jewish identity, and anti-Semitism education, along with condemnation of all denials and distortions of the Holocaust. Working with the newly confirmed State Department's Special Envoy to monitor and combat anti-Semitism to ensure U.S. leadership in the fight against global anti-Semitism. Working with all social media platforms to institute stronger efforts to address online anti-Semitism while protecting First Amendment rights. Taking all possible steps to improve the physical security of Jewish institutions, including increased funding for the Nonprofit Security Grant Program, so it can continue its essential work of protecting Jewish and other faith-based institutions across the country. Ensuring the safety, security, and dignity of American Jews in all aspects of their lives, including the workplace, university campuses, and at home. During Jewish American Heritage Month, we celebrate the continued diversity and contributions to American life by the Jewish community. In doing so, we must also acknowledge anti-Semitism is not a relic of the past, but remains a clear and present danger today. Taking action today is just one step. Let us renew commitment to defending the rights of all people. Before I yield, I do want to take a moment to thank all those who made today possible, my co-leads, Congressman Mario Diaz-Balart, Brad Schneider, and Lee Zeldin, and of course, Leader Hoyer, and many other colleagues and staff whose effort helped bring this resolution to the floor today. Thank you. I yield back the balance of my time.